mean, even after losing Death Row and a bunch of money, people still gravitated towards Suge. Like Suge could have actually created a whole new career.
Absolutely.
Like,
I believe after he got out the first time, he should have reshuffled that label, and he should have hired a CEO. He should have hired like a front person, and he should have just been running things from the background, because you got 5 years for a fight. That means your name is no good with the justice system. You know what I mean? It's like they wanted to do something to you, bro, because that shit never happens. I don't know nobody who went to prison for 5 years for a fight.
Well, he violated his probation.
Oh, but so he was what kind of probation was he on? Was he on formal, informal?
No, formal, because remember the whole thing of, okay, so if you remember back before Death Row, launched the Chronic, when they were working with Solar Records, they were in that studio and he ended up pistol whipping that dude.
Oh, I didn't know he got caught for that.
And stripping him.
I know,
remember, because he was using the phone that Harry O was supposed to be calling on.
Yeah.
So Suge told him to get off the phone. He's like, okay, in a second when I'm done, Suge ends up pistol whipping him.
Yeah, I heard DLC tell that story.
Yeah, and then the dude went outside and called the police. So he gets arrested for that. He got put on probation. So then when the fight happened at the MGM, and you could see, Suge kicking, Orlando.
Yeah, I didn't know he got in trouble for that, though, to be honest. So, okay, then.
That's what it was. So yeah, it's not like 5 years for a random fight. No, he was on probation. He needed to keep his hands clean.
Okay.
He decides to join into a fight.
Yeah.
And that's why he went to jail. So, yeah. Is it completely justified? Probably not, but there is some justification in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because usually when they put you on probation and they give you like 5 years and you violate, they can give you those whole 5 years if you violate within that time. Yeah, so yeah, that makes sense. I did not know though. Okay. But yeah, anyhow, either way, like he should have, you know what I mean? Like with all the shit, like, because I'm sure it's other shit that nobody ever got caught for that happened with Death Row. You understand what I'm saying? And the fact that, you like the richest independent young black man from the inner city. Cause I think they were saying in those times that Suge had like $360 million, some ridiculous shit that nobody has ever seen, that was in a position of a CEO from an independent standpoint. And it was like, dude, why would you play with that? Like, it didn't mean a lot to him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he fumbled a huge bag.
Huge bag.
And yeah, man, almost reminds me of the YSL Young Thug situation. You get to a point where suddenly you got millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, all these fans and all these projects, but you still out here thugging. You still out here, potentially financing fuck shit.
Yeah.
Which ultimately ends up biting you. As opposed to saying, yo, I'm rich now. Like, let me just enjoy myself and focus on reinvesting this into the company and make it even bigger. Fuck all that bullshit. Like, I don't have to make peace with everyone, but I could stop beefing with them actually, actively.
Yeah, that's what.
But no, that did not happen.
Money and fame, man. It's a bad combo for a lot of people, especially when you don't really know yourself, So it's like, that shit, it was probably worse for him than it was good. Because if you die, Suge, what they give him, 30 years or something like that?
28 years.
And Suge is what, how old?
Let's look him up.
Gotta be 50, right? 50 something.
He is 57 years old.
See? So this is what I'm saying. That's like, dude, like, bruh, if you end up dying in jail after all of that, like, that's a fucking horrible way to go. That's like that's a fucking that's a horror movie. Like, this is damn, bro. But he did it to himself, so he can't really say anything about it. You know what I mean? It's all from the things you did.
Man, listen,
so you got to eat that shit.
I have been in the room with Suge on 2 different occasions that I can remember.
Here we go.
And on both times, I did not say anything to him.
Yeah. Nah, Suge had that.
And I know, like, an interview with Suge would do massive numbers. And this was, one of the times was after I already had Vlad TV. I remember I was backstage at some West Coast show, like Big U and them were back there. Suge was in there, and I'm like, nah, I'm not having this conversation because everyone I know that's had business dealings with Suge have always regretted it. Every single person. No one I know has done business with Suge and said, no, he's a great guy. You should do, no, it's just he's just labeled. No, he's really cool. He's really professional. I've never heard that. So I'm like, I'm going to get in contact with him and something bad is going to happen down the line. So I'm just going to say, fuck it. And I think that that's ultimately what happened. Cause like, look, he could have probably had deals worth millions of dollars outside of the whole death row, whatever thing, because he was still a very much a big character and a big figure that I think people wanted to associate themselves with. But once you start working with Suge, you end up saying, like, you know how many horror stories I have? Oh yeah, I tried to do a deal with Suge and,
I hear mixed reviews about him. I hear mixed reviews about him, but my experience with him has always been good. But then again, I never done business with him either.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
I've heard mixed things. Some people say he was a genius, and I think on some level he was, because he did have a huge success. But like you said, he fumbled that shit, and it's like it just seemed like it was all for naught. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Yeah, and the irony of it all is that Club 662, which was the club in Vegas.
Yeah, it was originally 702 Club. He bought it.
Yeah,
I used to go to that club. Yeah.
Well, these days it's actually a gay club called True.
Oh, I don't know nothing about that.
Just the irony of it all.
I don't think nobody that I know even associate themselves with that place.
Oh,
but
yeah.
a lot of shit has happened at that club. I looked it up on
Yelp. It's a bunch of dudes with leather straps across their chest.
Whoa.
I'm just saying.
That's what happens, though. That's what happens.
That's what
happens, man. Damn. Because I know of a place in Victorville, California. It was a club called Karma. And I think after like 3 murders, now it's a church. It's a straight church now, bro. It's like, but I understand. I get it. Shit happens.
Yep.
Yeah.